And welcome, Bearcasters. You are now listening to Sports Blitz, and boy, oh boy, do we have a great show for you today. William Wolkoff along here with Kevin Sakes. Kevin, how are you this fine afternoon?
I'm fantastic. Really excited for this show. We have a phenomenal guest host today.
Let's introduce that guest. He's a former UC Bearcat and a former NBA player. Corey Blunt is our guest today. Corey, how are you today?
Man, I'm doing good this morning, man. Happy to be here, honored to be here, and anything I could do to help promote this program, hey, I told you I'm available, so let's go.
All right, thank you very much, and we're honored to have you as our guest today. My first question for you, you grew up in Monrovia, California, and I was just wondering what sparked your interest in the game of basketball?
Well, for me, it was just something that I loved to do at a young age. I wasn't really that good at a young age, but I really enjoyed the game, and I decided to go out for my senior year and try out for the team. We had a new coach come into Monrovia High School, and he embraced me. He thought I could help them win, and I took upon that challenge and bought into his system and ended up having a phenomenal one senior year.
While at UC, you played under one of the most beloved coaches, probably the most in Cincinnati history. Of course, that's Bob Huggins. On TV, he seems more of a harder person, an edgier coach. What was it like playing under a coach who has 710 career wins?
Interesting. I mean, you know, when he came and recruited me, he was just such a mild-mannered guy. You know, he sat down and put 5 pennies on the table. I'll never forget it. And he's sitting there with me and my grandmother, and he's just explaining how I'll be able to roll out and play my game and have a little freedom and really enjoy myself. And I'm like, man, this sounds great. I want to be a part of it. And then when I got here, I got a rude awakening because it wasn't that mild-mannered guy anymore. It was a tough, and I know this is an internet show, but a tough SOB once I got here. I mean, it was definitely a different experience, but he was what I needed. I mean, he pushed me and everybody on that team to levels that we probably wouldn't have been able to achieve if he wasn't our coach. And we kind of bought into his personality. And I think because of his ways, you know, it helped us develop as a good team that year. I've never been on a team. Well, I had success in junior college and won 2 championships there. But this team was just so unique because we all bought into defense for one thing, and then we all liked each other. It's very rare that you'll be on a team where 1 through 15 guys really like each other, and I mean hang out together, you know, hang out in each other's room. It's usually the starters, or then you got the role players. But this team was just a unique team where we all just got along, and that's what I really think the major part of being there was just that phenomenal camaraderie we had with that team, and I think we showed it on the floor when we got the chance.
I wanted to actually talk about the Final Four run a bit. Obviously, you know, you guys met your match sort of against Michigan, but you were the number 4 seed during that Final Four run. You held off a great UTEP team that upset number 1 Kansas. What was your favorite memory from that run?
My favorite memory would definitely be watching UTEP upset Kansas. I mean, because I was really, you know, when we were all sitting in the stands, I was just looking at that's going to be a tough team for us to play. And I just thought the matchup and the things that Kansas brought to the table would be – now, I didn't think we couldn't beat them, but I just thought that would be a real tough game for us. And then when UTEP beat them, I really felt comfortable, you know, and I don't mean that by being cocky or anything, but I just thought we'd be able to play our style of pressure defense against their guards would get them to turn over. Kansas has some real good guards. I remember Rex Walters – and the one guard, Adrenas, I can't remember his name, but he was. They were really good that year at the guard position. So I thought that they would handle our press a little better. Then when UTEP came, they had such small guards that I knew that, you know, Nick Terrence, AD, those guys would get him trouble. So I was a little confident when that happened.
Of, you know, all your fellow players in the NBA, you know, who do you think was the greatest that you really, you know, got to play with or against, and why?
Oh, man, well, you know, my resume is probably one of the best in the world when it comes to playing with guys who are really great athletes and really great NBA players. But, I mean, it would be a toss-up between definitely – man, that's a tough – who asked that question,
Santa.
man? I mean, I don't think I could just name one. I'd have to name all the 5 stars that I played with, starting with Michael. You know, I mean, everybody – no need to go into him. And then you got Scotty,
Right.
who was to me on the same level as Mike. You know, if you notice, Mike hasn't won any more championships than Scotty, so you can see the Batman and Robin tandem there. And then I go to
Batman
LA.
and Batman, to be honest.
Yeah.
Scotty,
you
the
can definitely
defensive
say
prowess,
that.
and Michael, the offensive guy. I mean, it was.
And then a lot of people don't know when Mike wasn't there, Scotty led our team in 5 categories.
Right.
So he showed that he was definitely an all-star player.
That's why he was on the Dream Team. I mean, you can't fault that.
Exactly. So then I go to L.A., and then I had the privilege to play with Shaq and Kobe.
Right.
You know, Kobe Bryant, one of the most phenomenal 18-year-old kids I've ever seen or ever known at that time. I mean, he was just so mature. He came in with a purpose. He worked his butt off every day. And he said and he showed that he was going to be one of the best players in the NBA. Shaq was Shaq, one of the most dominating players in the world. I mean, if you guys could just imagine playing on a Nerf hoop and dunking the ball on a Nerf hoop, that's what Shaq had the advantage of, really. I mean, with us hanging on his back in practice, I mean, we try to foul him intentionally, try to send him to the free throw line, and half the time we couldn't stop him even at that point. So then, then I had the privilege to play with Magic Johnson when he came back. So, all 5 of those guys were phenomenal, man. So I would say those 5.
What do you miss most about your time in Clifton, and what do you think of the program this year?
Man, I miss Clifton. I loved my time here at the University of Cincinnati, and I am a true diehard University of Cincinnati fan, alumni. I owe everything that I have to this school. I really take it that serious, and it's just a privilege to know that I was a part of a basketball team that really made a difference from then and now, that people still speak highly about our team. So I love Clifton, man, and it's just an amazing time to come back and you see the development of this school. This is definitely # one of the hottest campuses.
There you
in the
go,
country.
yeah.
There's nobody can
Using
dispute that when you come around. So, yeah, I love it here. I really do.